Thank you all for being here. It's a really great honor to have you all here in our World Digital Summit with online business. My name is Sumisha. I am a business event consultant. I have more than 20 years of experience in business tourism and 10 years in the online digital world. So our first day, it was about helping people to switch their business offline to online. Our second day was with Hanim, where we mentioned about a new way of working for the businesses and the 10 HR. And today we have our third day, and we will talk about artificial intelligence for online businesses. So our speaker today is Syed Shahan. So Syed, thank you so much for being here with us today. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic, Shamika. Thank you, Mayamen, Mohammed, and Shamika for the opportunity. It's an absolute pleasure to be involved in educating oneself as well, rather than just coming here as a speaker. As I mentioned on my profile, I'm in constant beta learning. So I make sure I am available to people who I can spread the knowledge when I can, and also keen to actually have mind conversations and understand how technology and what new technologies are available and how it's going to help businesses which are either growing or even to sustain.
That's amazing.
So I just want to say thank you. And in today's topic, I know AI is too vast to be completed in an hour or half an hour, 45 minutes. So I really want to talk about a couple of advantages and look at some the basic differences in understanding AI, because everybody seems AI has got a lot to do. So hoping to give it a shot and look for your feedback, questions, and we'll see how we all feel by the end of the conversation as to are we AI pro or are we going to be AI against? So let's see.
Sure. Thank you so much, Syed. Our format today will be more technical. So you will have a presentation during 45 minutes, and then we will have a Q&A sessions from my side and from the audience.
Sure.
But before to start your presentation, may I ask you to introduce you to our audience, please?
Okay. I represent a company called Y Aluminum based out of US, Florida. And I also am working on my startup right now. I've had two exits previously, once while I was in England and once while in India. I've extensively worked with data right from the time I took up my first job. So knowingly or unknowingly, data has been a critical part of my development process. And once you have data, then comes intelligence, and then comes decision making, and then comes the success stories. So I align this introduction towards AI, and the reason why I feel very strongly in terms of artificial intelligence and further aspects of technology helping us grow. Humble entrepreneur, failed multiple times. I don't worry about that. I think that's given me an excellent learning curve. And I'm happy to fail again and learn more. That's me.
Good, good. So feel free to start your presentation, Syed. Thank you so much.
Sure. Please do let me know if you're able to. Okay, so AI, I would say, where do we start? Now I'm going to talk about considering this block as a business, and then I'm going to start plugging in information externally and internally. We have suppliers, competitors, regulators, we have community. Internally, we have strategies, we got plans, we got decision-making, metrics, risks, prioritization, and governance. And from there, we then move on to the organization structure, the different departments, the processes, the capabilities, and the software, data, machines, and dollars, knowledge, and products. Considering all this as a channel facilitating us, we need to understand how we express decision-making processes into the business. Now, if this is my organization, I would be looking at something called externally, where AI can be implemented in this business of mine. So I immediately will look at my competitors and say, where have my competition actually implemented AI in which of these factors? One customer can do it at customer intimacy level, that's 4 seasons. There might be another client of mine who might be thinking at more than just customer intimacy and talk about process operational excellence, where he wants to implement AI, that's Walmart. And then I come back again and say, hold on a minute, where does Apple include AI in their products? So that's product leadership. And finally, I would talk about where I could see IBM with their marketing supremacy would like to implement AI. Now that's, if I look around and say, every business has one element in their structure where AI can be implemented. So 4 seasons, if I was 4 seasons, or what 4 seasons is done right now, they have implemented AI where robotics can come in and take them through the hotel rooms. That's artificial intelligence done. What Walmart has done has added AI into the processes factor, wherein they can save more and give that as a concession to the customers. Apple has done it at the product level. Now, if you look at IBM, they've done it in the marketing and the governance departments of AI. So this whole structure where we talk about AI doesn't have to be implemented completely as a business as a whole, but you and us as business owners need to understand which element of the business needs to be taken into consideration before implementing AI. Now, what I would like to do right now is also take you into another form where, as you have Elon Musk giving you information, you have other big boys who have actually taken the responsibility of showing what is actually the AI concepts we are talking about. Everybody stops and understands AI, the bigger picture, stating that actually, you know what, I can do a lot more with AI into my organization. But I feel we really need to understand how AI is actually taking precedence. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to visually take you through a couple of factors, what I feel is very important. And then I would compare the different elements of AI, what basically everybody needs to know. And from there, I would actually show you how businesses are actually using AI to implement and make sure their businesses are maximizing in terms of artificial intelligence. So I'm sharing your screen again. Please have a look and just let me know if you're able to see it again. The first and the most important factors is when you look at the Facebook feeds, they give you relevant data. They give you information what you need to see. That is artificial intelligence being used. In addition to that, people think artificial intelligence, machine learning, and deep learning, all of them are the same, but actually not. If you look at Siri, it is a combination of all the three, where it uses data and actually gives you output. So all I feel artificial intelligence is getting to mimic the behavior of humans. But then you have machine learning, that's nothing but giving them data in order to get machines to make decisions. And then you have something called deep learning within. It's neural networks, which is actually used to help the machine learning give an output to the artificial intelligence. So between you and us, everybody thinks, oh, there's a link between artificial intelligence, machine learning, and deep learning. Not just that, because machine learning, deep learning, and artificial intelligence is just the foundation of what is called the next level technologies. Artificial intelligence gets more than just these three factors. It completes object detection. It completes natural language processing. It completes robotics, and it completes the data integration. So it's all about flushing in unlimited amount of data. So we narrow this down as narrow intelligence, general intelligence, and superficial intelligence. Narrow intelligence is what today almost everybody is using. You take it from a bot in what chatbot, what you actually normally have. That's where the narrow intelligence comes in. And narrow intelligence, most of the companies like Alexa's or Amazon's, the Alexa's, what we have, they give you a limited output to something what they're fed information with. They're not going to be doing something more than what you want them to do. And then if you look at the iPhone, the face verification is narrow intelligence. The autopilot feature is narrow intelligence. The Sophia it comes under narrow intelligence. The Google Maps of under AI comes under narrow intelligence. So you need to break down in your business how much of AI needs to be powered in. At the same time, if you look at general intelligence, this is exactly the tasks humans could do. This is exactly the task humans could do. And machine learning and artificial intelligence enables these tasks to be done at a quicker pace. Now, you have examples. Amazon is using this in their logistics and how they process the delivery system is empowered with general intelligence. You don't have people working and moving stuff anymore under Amazon. As Hakan said, the next part would be completely blown away. The biological evolution of humans can be overtaken by these machines, or as he says, superseded. That's when we come to the next part of intelligence called the superintelligence. Now, people think, hey, superintelligence is just a myth. All these fiction movies coming in are just going to surpass humans. It's always going to be only on television. Elon Musk has invested in 6 different artificial intelligence companies. And in one of his interviews, he said he didn't invest to make money. He invested to find out what is the limits of these artificial intelligence projects these guys are doing. One of them have actually dug down into space. They have done an 8-planet solar system, which is 2,500 light years away. AI is now composing sonnets and poems. That's like making music without you and me knowing about it. Now think about JP Morgan Chase, 36,000 documents or vice versa. And how long would it take for humanly look at these documents? And in JP Morgan's coin platform using AI does it in seconds, wherein you might actually need 36,000 hours to do manually reviewing of the 12,000 documents. And it does it in seconds. Now, if AI is empowering you in businesses, you look at IBM Watson. What has IBM Watson done to the industry? The AI part of it. Everybody heard about oncology. It scans approximately 20 million records to let me know that there's a person and compare and give you an output of a leukemia patient. That's humanly impossible. Now, that is what artificial intelligence is empowering you. You look at Google's eye doctor. If I'm going to be turning blind in the next 5 years, Google eye doctor is going to tell me right now because it's called a condition called diabetic retinopathy. Now, it's tied up with an Indian company to actually find that out for us. In addition to that, Facebook, the biggest example of AI. Every time you take a picture with your friends, you know your friends' pictures come in boxes and you're already automatically tagging them. How? Artificial intelligence. Look at the feed that Twitter gets day in and day out. They are bombarded with information and data. They use artificial intelligence to separate hate speeches to good speeches. Anti-terrorism processes are enabled using artificial intelligence. 300,000 accounts have been disabled using artificial intelligence. And that is the power of artificial intelligence getting into our systems on a day-to-day basis. You look at Google predictive search. By the time I'm going to type half of what I feel I want to type, Google is throwing up suggestions to me. How? It understands your methodology of thinking, your age, your location. It uses all this in the background pushes into the machine learning algorithms and throws information out, which makes life easier. And then you start getting more and more accurate about it. Think about Google Assistant. Now, Google Assistant is one of the most additional in terms of Alexa and the Google Do Play, what has come out after the Alexa. It gives you a human touch. It makes you feel that you are actually talking to a human rather than a bot if ever you've tried it. It does everything for you what a human does. Now, this is where we are right now in terms of artificial intelligence trying to take extreme steps and giving us the information what we think is useful for us to actually enable our businesses. How many of you over a period of time have thought about it? Okay, now I have a business running. Not everybody is screaming and shouting about they implementing artificial intelligence inside their businesses. Let's take one big time example, Amazon. Why is it that customers are coming back to Amazon and not their competitors? You think Noon's marketing power, the power of money, isn't enabling them to be a go-getter in the market? No, it's not. The empowering engine what Amazon has is superseded, because that's because they have the amount of data what they have with them. You cannot compare a shop store to an online store, which has actually got data to actually make a decision. Now, why I was talking on another conference a couple of days ago, and we came to a conclusion that over a period of time, if humans do not stop giving away amount of data what they're giving away to the systems, we are going to be in trouble. And Elon Musk quoted, he quoted after picking up the companies that by 2050, think about there is a vault where all your data is being stored, and there are machines able to understand and predict your requirements, and which is not done. And he said, today, I need to open my phone to actually look at my grocery list and check off on my fridge what I need to get after 2-3 days. Trust me, in a couple of years, in a couple of days, you will understand and you will get messages coming back into your phone saying, your eggs are going to run out in 2 days. Do you want to order today? Because we got a 20% discount on the store where you already opened. Now that is powering information back to the user. Where was this? Compare yourself when we were about a decade before, we were just thinking about getting online. But right now, we have these power, and AI has empowered us over and over again to make sure these changes. Look at agriculture fields. People don't even realize that today there are apps in AI wherein you can take a picture of your existing crop, send it across, image AI data scanning happens, and it tells you what kind of pesticides needs to be used to make sure your crop grows better. The yield is tripled, right? Now, people don't seem to understand that. They think AI is some next level technology that is there for the best of the best guys. I said, no. AI needs to be integrated in every in every business in certain aspects where you think it would help you enhance yourself. You know what is happening right now in China? The COVID-19 AI helping hospitals to screen patients using artificial intelligence. What's happening before? I would take 15 minutes to look at your reports, assess, analyze, and tell you if you're going to be more likely to be a pneumonic flu, or is this the COVID flu? It scans 20,000 CT scans in a matter of 20 seconds and throws out 2 different images. No, you're pneumonic. No, you're COVID. Now think about that process available on their app, on phones. This is how it's empowering healthcare. Education. Once you finish this call with me, I want you to please Google and look at the band which Chinese are using in schools right from standard 4. It's called AI band. There's a technology called EEG, okay? They tap into the neurons where the child wears the band and sits across in the class. Data has been thrown back into the screen by the by the bands, measuring their interest levels over a period of 10 minutes. So every 10 minutes, the teacher is identifying in a snapshot that XYZ person's interesting attention quotient is coming down. Bang, I'm focusing on you right now. It's coming to a point where they're able to understand whether what is being taught by the teacher is being understood by the student. How can we do that today? Impossible. There is no, 90% of the student would never stand up and say, ma'am, I'm sorry, I didn't understand that. It doesn't even happen in school. It happens in universities. It happens all the way. Even today, once I finish off a conference, I'll be thinking, man, I really didn't understand that part, what he said. You have these bands identifying the data patterns, feeding it back to the teachers who knows on her laptop, man, this student sitting roll number 5 did not understand this concept. It's just changing the way you would look at technology, the way it would empower humans, that it would, the way the kids would actually grow up to know mostly everything about everything. But then the parents are worried, thinking if everybody starts to get 95% because they're so closely monitored, where is creativity coming in? It's just totally collapsed. However, that's when the data being fed into that for that particular client or a child is also being verified and accessed to see creative quotients of these kids. For example, now if you get into the British Barclays Premier League in England, the coaches use AI to look at how the statistics of the footballers, the basketball, the NBAs, without you and me knowing, their power of performance is increasing day by day. You and me are failing to understand that they are empowered with data to exactly do according to their body structures and their DNAs. They're not coming out to you, or neither they're coming out to me and saying, this is the technology what we are using. No, they believe in performance. They believe in results. So they are tying multiple technologies together, AI being the most important because that is what is feeding and taking data off them. Another point what I want to come into right now here is very critical. There's a company I actually am trying to promote into UAE. It's called New Relic. Now this company is based out of UK and 300 million so. They provide AI solutions. So when I was talking to them and saying, man, your vision is to get to $1 billion in revenues in the UAE market, how are you going to do that? So who's their first client in UAE? Careem. What they did for Careem was exceptional. Before Careem got bought out by Uber, they looked at the data, what they had from the last year and a half or two. They processed the data through an artificial intelligence machine learning system, which would actually collaborate and calibrate the user experience. So they focused on the user experience rather than the rideshare and the other apps for them to actually become more user-friendly. That's the history between how AI was implemented in Careem, which actually got finally boosted out in terms of the way the evaluations took forward. I'll take you another example. Every time we scroll on to Amazon shopping, it actually suggests what products you need. That's not random. It's doing it because you and your family members all together connected are browsing and buying certain products in a particular pattern. It's understanding that you evolve around that space. Go to Netflix. Netflix is the biggest example I can give you. The suggestion screens, what you see on Netflix, where do you think that lands up from? Why aren't they not showing Korean movie, ads or subtitles or snapshots for you and me to see? Not possible. They realize even though you share your Netflix account by 5 different people, They say we're going to confuse Netflix because all of us are watching different languages. There's something at the background where it captures the location and the device ID, and it knows from which device what you're actually seeing. Ain't that powerful? Or imagine you walk into a bookstore and you have 200,000 books. How do you know where you need to go? Today, somebody is going to start talking back to us. It's not going to be one way anymore. Connections between devices, empowered with AI, superpowered with intelligence, it's going to open up a new world. And I think that factor is key for us to understand at this moment. His Excellency Ghanem was working in the airport, international airport. He actually set up the IT sector of Dubai International Airport. I am thinking, as a team, as clients, how the structure of the airport process is empowered by AI. Expo 2020, for example, if everything went well, we would see an influx of people coming in. Number of flights increased. The number of people going through immigration increased. Can somebody tell me at what point in the 24 hours will I have a bottleneck somewhere and my entire pipeline of people coming in and going out is going to be delayed? Nobody can right now, because there's nobody working on a timeline factor as to how much time does one flight take to land in the Dubai International Airport, and how long was the journey for him to walk into the immigration, and how many people are there in the flight. Suppose 25 flights come together, we are stuck. Now Dubai Airport is empowered with AI. It gives you predictive bottlenecks so that you are empowered with information that I need to open up 16 more immigration counters at this time between 1:30 p.m. and 3:30 p.m. because there is an influx of people coming in. My luggage system at for these particular flights needs to be moved to number 4, whatever you call it. I'm sorry, I just forgot the name. So that people can move holistically and manage crowd pulling there. This is the power of AI, which you and me are harnessing on an everyday basis. Without realizing, AI is already inside our systems. If you run a business, whether it is online, okay, the best example, LinkedIn. Can you have no, I know Shoaib is great in LinkedIn and Tariq is there as well in marketing. There are tools that are being empowered by AI for you to make sure you get the best output. How is this happening, and why aren't people not accepting the fact that we have to jump on the bandwagon or we're going to be left out? If you take a marketing company, no, AI people have a feeling that it's only fit for the big boys who have the money, they need to go forward. Actually not. If you implement a chatbot in your website, you're already starting to get into AI. You need to start communicating to people. People need to start seeing and feeling what you're trying to sell them or what you're trying to buy from them. Now, this AI factor is key for not just our education system, our security, as well as in agriculture. These ecosystems need to evolve together. Think about security, facial recognition. I recently implemented FRS back home in India, a Russian company based out of Turkey, Istanbul, and then plugged them off in India. I got some of my panelists, my networks here and all. The essence of identifying a face, not when you are completely open, but when you have only 30% of your face being visible to the cameras. Not when you're looking at the camera at a 90-degree angle, a 0-degree angle, but when you are at a 65+ degree angle. The dots artificial intelligence exposes the power of data, what it identifies from within, running the system by capturing your face in less than a millisecond. I repeat, capturing your face in less than a millisecond, comparing it with a database in less than a millisecond, throwing out the output that yes, this is Tariq, yes, this is Abdullah in less than a millisecond. That is AI. And if you think over a period of time, I can stay away from not implementing AI in my businesses. If you think I can stay away from AI and say, I can still do the man-to-man kind of a talking, of course you can. There's no harm. But then it'll be too late to realize your competition is getting ahead of you. And there is no such thing as an AI shop. You have to actually find out which is the best AI solution that can plug into your system. That's the difference what you and me have to take forward. Now, I also am very, very keen to understand the security prospect of any nation, right from Air Force all the way to our imaging technology and the thermal thermal security what we use to identify objects coming into our borders, and the twin technology what's used in ports and the seas. Elements of AI are way inside our lives. There is going to be an opportunity where human interaction during disputes would be less and machines would take over. When I say machines would take over, I don't mean physically having a conflict. I would say the machine would give us the data that what is the best way to deal with this kind of situation. We are overpowered by information. And AI, people say, okay, it started off in 1956, and people were not able, although they had a single neural networks, means multiple nodes being connected together. And in 1956, the amount of data was not sufficient for us to actually run the AI. So they moved it all the way till we got sufficient data once the IBMs and the others came in the end of 19th. However, if you look and read history, your forefathers, our forefathers, the Greek mythology, element and intelligence of AI has already been used. If you look deeply into the pyramids of Egypt, how it's been constructed, you will relate that there are elements of artificial intelligence, how these people have used it in terms of calculations and mathematics. We don't know between the two spaces where all the information went. There was no mode of capturing that information. We have it now. And that captured data is going to give us 10x times more output in the coming days. Before I show you the next video and talk about the next video, I just like to pause and see if people are with me. Any questions, I can take it right now.
Yeah, we still have 20 minutes to raise questions. I mean,
okay, so can I move to the next
presentation? Yes, okay. I would say yes, Syed, because I have already plenty of questions from my side, and I'm sure our audience as well.
Sure. Now, if I'm going to walk you through what I vision, what we vision in a couple of years from now. Now, this vision is purely based on statistical data. It's not that I've made this up into. I can't see. Okay. This vision is imperative for us and you to understand and visualize what you're going to see right now. Credit goes to one of my co-partnering companies who helped me do this. So hang on a minute, I just get it off. Okay. Can you see my screen?
Not yet.
Not yet? Okay.
Yes, it's okay.
So when everything becomes linked with everything else, meta becomes mild, and then the possibilities become endless. There are 50 million connected devices right now. The economic impact of these connected machines up to $11 trillion up to 2025. Wearable devices, environmental sensors, agriculture machinery, components of the vehicle, devices in home, all of them connected together with insights to drive transformation with information. If I add these devices with the car, workplace, myself, mirrors, magic mirrors, the world is going to come alive. Now, this is making everyday objects, they're making into data factories. When this big data meets artificial intelligence, this interface will come live with intelligence. New worlds will take birth, and they will talk back to us. This world would be completely interconnected. We see what we see today is going to be 10x times or 100x times more. This is going to be the extension of our life. Our thoughts are going to be extended. This imagining world is responsive to us right now. It is only made for human creativity. A world that is completely intelligent. This artificial intelligence coming in is going to be from self-driving cars, smart homes, to healthcare. This is the world, what I say, of endless possibilities. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Syed. It was really insightful presentation. I learned so much thanks to you about AI, and I have to admit, I am a little bit more scared now. So my first question actually would be how AI can protect your business, your online business, and I can add you as a person. So I'm sure I'm not the only one to have this feeling. So how can it protect our business and ourselves?
When I just need to dig a bit more deeper into the question. When you say how is it going to protect my business, what do you exactly mean?
When you see that they have access to everything, to every data that we have, and that everything is connected to the infinity, it's a little bit scary, because then we can't keep anything private, or we can't keep anything for ourselves that we want to keep private for our
Well,
business or for
you
our
got an
personal
option. You got
lives.
an option right now. I'm going to be very, very optimistic, very straightforward. If you think there's a way out of this, I'm sorry, there is not. If anybody is going to tell you that, man, now I'm going to stop sharing everything about myself in Facebook or in LinkedIn or any other social, it's already done. The damage is done. Someone has your data. When you talk about data privacy between you and me, we got to be kidding ourselves. Really, we got to be kidding ourselves. 500,000 accounts on Zoom has been hacked in the last 15 days. Or are we still on Zoom? We have let go because that actually doesn't make a difference to me anymore. It's over a period of time where the initial stages, when people have something very systematic to work with, probably the banking industry does even more security prospects around their businesses to make sure this doesn't affect them. But to be honest, if you're not online, you don't exist. If people don't know you as a commodity online, selling online, talking online, meeting people online, you do not exist. And the first thing people will do is look for you to understand, what kind of a person am I interacting with? What is the kind of history this person has? And again, without you and me knowing, we too are using our artificial intelligence to try and dig information about somebody so that our sales can be better. Somebody just created the screen.
Yes, bear with me. If you can stop the sharing, please.
Sorry, yeah, it's okay. So, so yeah, he said a very good one. When you realize Facebook has leaked your data, but then you realize it. Yeah, that's fantastic.
Thank you, Tariq.
So,
if you can go back to Syed.
Basically, there are companies do their due diligence, and companies have to protect themselves. They need to get more in terms of cybersecurity tools in order to make sure their data is secure. That's what the big boys do. They invest in good technologies to make their data safe and their clients, customers' data very safe to the rest of the world. And that's the only way. But you got to keep gearing up, man. You got to keep getting yourself more ammunition as the day passes. It's going to get more connected, like it or not. We are going to get more connected, and you cannot shy away. So there's an education system internally between yourself. There's an upgradation system with the way you look at things, and that's the only way forward. But if you're looking to shy away from this, not possible.
Thank you, Syed. I'm just trying to stop the sharing at the same time, but I was listening to you. Actually, the second question I have is how AI can improve digital marketing. As you said, business-wise, we are all online. We have to be online. So how can AI improve digital marketing? I know AI is another level, but in the point of view of
no, it's not. It's not.
How to use it.
Digital marketing for me is all about connecting to the person at the right time. The supply, demand, time needs to be reduced. That's when I click on digital marketing. So there's no point in you telling me, hey, I've got an offer for gold jewelry 5 days after I've done my marriage shopping. No, it doesn't make any sense anymore. It's the timing. So there are tools what digital marketing professionals use right now to connect and give that, reduce the time frame between demand supply to be almost instant. So once you start implementing the tools over a period of time, you will start getting more requests, connects, interests. And then there is another layer of your product sales what kicks in for you to complete that particular process. Everybody's using tools now to empower their digital marketing. I'm sure Shoaib is there and Tariq is there who are like into digital marketing as well, which I know. So I'm sure if you can shed some light in particular, what are those tools which you think will be empowering marketing in AI? We can still have that as a knowledge that can be spread across.
Okay.
Can I add something here? Sure. First of all, Syed, thank you very much for this really, I will consider a wealthy presentation of all this knowledge. Now, just to add to what you said about marketing, 2 examples is one, Amazon sending in 2 boxes to residents. 1 box is full of items that you did not order, and 1 box is you return the item that you don't want. They send it weekly, and the success of this marketing is 70% of items are never returned. So based on the data and the knowledge that they harvest, they knew exactly this household, what they require, and they find out exactly what they can persuade them to buy. Second example about Domino Pizza, where they have no click or 0 click application. And this is where they know their client that they order typical pizza, So if you open the app, only open the app, and if you don't click for 10 seconds, the delivery will come to you as an order. So you have 10 seconds to decide, do I need the same order before, or I'm thinking of another order? So once you open the app, you have no choice except 10 seconds. They base it on information. And that's, I wanted to add these two examples. I will go back also why we are not really digesting the whole idea of the dominant of AI and the takeover and all this, because we are still thinking in our box. So in innovation, we always say, think outside the box, outside the box. No, we have to transform ourselves 10x from now and build that or forecast that box, and let's live there, and we will see what Syed is saying is making all the sense, and it will be a casual thing for us. So as Sumecha is talking about worrying about business data, actually you might benefit from this if you are in the new box. So that's my participation here.
Thank you so much, Halim.
Sir, I just need to add another example which His Excellency Mr. Ghanim actually mentioned about. Mystery shopping. I don't know how many of you have heard about mystery shopping that happens in US. Drop shipping happens in US. When you're interconnected with people using artificial intelligence, the logistic companies are using people like you and me to connect with you, to reduce my overheads on the supply chain and the logistics to deliver the goods. Never have that happened before. So I'm connecting with like-minded people. I have no idea who you are. I'm connecting with like-minded people. Through the logistics apps, I'm trying to move a product which is packed either by Amazon or the Walmart to my client destination through a person who I've never met or never does logistics before. Because AI has given them the confidence underneath that this is safe. We check this. There are no banned products which are actually moving. This is how they are actually getting into the lives of the people. I just wanted to throw that example because I feel the other part of Asia has not even accepted that part. They're more related to one-to-one logistics, Zomato's and the others to come in with the T-shirts of Zomato and other logistics companies. AI is empowering people to get connected so that we can start taking and doing stuff for credits. And everywhere in the whole holistic approach, there is advantage on all sides. And that's what AI is actually right now doing.
Thank you so much for the input, Syed. Actually, you advanced my question. I was about to ask, as AI, what is the best way to use AI in e-commerce? And actually, I can raise the second question. As AI is the utmost technology for the future, will it dominate e-commerce?
Will it dominate e-commerce?
Yes, because AI is...
I wouldn't say dominate. It's going to empower e-commerce to become even more sophisticated. Imagine today's scenario. I will tell you what today's scenario is all about on e-commerce shopping, all right? I pick a watch through Souk, and I know there's a delivery time of 14 days, all right? I have chosen cash on delivery, or I might have even paid through a credit card or my PayPal account. That data is off on the internet right now. Amazon picks it up that I have bought this product. I'm going to sell and this guy, and I know my competitor's delivery time is 14 days. If I come to you while you're browsing and say, hey, available in the next 2 days, 8% discount. What are you going to do, Shubisha? I'll tell you what I would do. Relay it with me. I said, I don't want to wait for 14 days to buy this product. Buy from Amazon. Get it delivered. I like it. I keep it. I cancel my order in the other e-commerce platform. That's happening. The returns, exchanges, rejections percentage, why are they so high? Because people are getting options left, right, and center. And again, as I said, I'm digging down into that perspective, saying, if I'm a Prime customer, I'm going to get it tomorrow. If I'm an Amazon Prime customer, If I go to one of the local super malls in here, half of the products what they list on their website for online shopping is not even available. And if I was a chairman of, without naming the brand, I would knock those guys off tomorrow, because I come into your website to get value for my time and money, not just for my money. And if you're not able to value my time I spend on your website or on your shopping cart, you're losing me. While Amazon is only focusing on the value of time more than the returns and the revenues on the capex and the apex, no matter these guys are still won't say we are profitable, they are ranking the highest in customer experience.
Sure. Amazing. Thank you so much.
That is where you have to implement AI in order to get customers down back to you. Otherwise, we won't.
Thank you so much, Syed. Actually, as you are so far in advance, I will raise my questions by two. The two next questions would be simply, is there any region in the world where AI became a daily habit, and being aware of it, and business-wise, how AI can be used for online business who don't own any e-commerce? So two questions. Which region in the world is the most in advance? Yes, in advance and using the AI and are aware. And for business who doesn't own e-commerce, how AI can help them?
You cannot define a place globally to say that this particular place is the most advanced AI, because the moment that product or company implements AI, they are global. They are global as well.
So China is not one of the country where...
China is way, to be honest, you like it or not, China is way, way ahead of us. Okay, that's the truth. That is the truth. If you cannot go in, identify what they're doing, find out what stuff they're done, how far they're ahead in time, that is our fault, not the media's fault. It's my fault that I'm not looking into what AI is doing. NASA has actually moved AI empowered robots back into Mars to give them data back. Great. Human touch, China works. They are the reason why they are the way they are is because they are advanced. And you like it or not, I don't want to say China that has got the most. The reason because there are other parts of other companies which are present globally that influence a major majority of the globe. And I would give that respect rather than if I have a technology and just holding it back to myself without giving this out into the rest of the world so that everybody can benefit out of it. That is not great for me. I think that for the ecosystem is bad. In that way, if I look at the Amazons, look at Elon Musk, I look at Bill Gates, they're not pumping money into AI companies to make money. They are pushing money into AI companies so that the world can be better equipped tomorrow.
Yes. So the smart cities that they are in progress, and there are only 3 now, and Dubai is one of them. AI is there implemented in a high level.
Absolutely. In DSOA, I think you have an AI-powered, a lot of activity happening with AI, artificial intelligence. You have, Dubai's got probably coming up with the first cafe where you have AI robots actually we're able to handle 68 customers at one time. Oh, well, that's just brilliant. How can you and me humanly do that? It's not possible. They say 68 customers, but does that mean over a period of 12 hours, 6 hours, 7 hours? I don't know, but that's the pitch. But then, yeah, you look at the thought processes. Abu Dhabi has got one of the most newest AI powered organization institution. So Dubai, Middle East, UAE is understanding that they need to be ahead in time if they need to attract people, need to attract investments, and then need to make sure that a lot of people get employed. And if you're back in technology, well, you're going to be back in the race.
Sure. Thank you so much, Syed, for all your amazing replies. We still have 5 minutes, and I'm sorry I promised more time, but let's go back to the audience. Does anyone have any questions to Syed, please?
Yes, it was indeed an amazing session by Syed. Thanks for sharing your knowledge and wisdom. So what I would like to add actually, you see, I have read an article. There was an article. Data is like an oil nowadays. It's like an
Yes,
oil.
correct.
So, like whichever country has the oil, like GCC countries and UAE, the economy has grown. So it's like that. Simply, the countries which are working on data side of the knowledge with artificial intelligence, machine learning, quantum computing, integrating with all these things to work on the data side. So those whoever like US, if you talk about, or China, they are more into these things, and I believe UE started with the integrating the AI bots and in different regions in different industrial sectors. It's becoming like more advanced. So I've also read an article. There's a chip. There's a human-made chip, artificial limb, or what you call skin cell chip, which is integrated within the human body. So human will be, all the time connected with the world, or wherever the person would go, it would be interconnected with all the technologies and all the tech-based mechanism. So it's like about the privacy you were talking about. It will eventually not be secured, but it will eventually, more advanced. We are interconnected with each other through this social media platform and through this technology platform, and AI would going to advance it more.
Syed, your point of view, please.
As I said, Shumicha, you got only two choices, and you got to be blunt. Okay, you're in or you're out. There's nothing in between. All right.
It's a nice.
It's simple. It depends what part of life you are in as well. If I am retired, I'm in my 70s, I'm in my holiday home, nothing of this would affect me. I don't want to use AI. But as I go forward, a couple more years, AI empowered products in my house that's going to make my life easier. Okay. So as I said, as Shoaib said, data is the new oil. It's not the new oil anymore. It has always been the oil. They're making them, it's now the dollars. Data is now the dollars rather than the oil. The oil was like a decade ago. Okay, they're still mining and getting. Now people are making money out of data. The valuation. Okay, let me talk about this on this subject. Let me just talk about it. If you know, there's a company called Flipkart back home in India, the biggest e-commerce platform. 2007 they launched. They got bought over for $7 billion. Okay. If you look at their profit and loss statement, they've never been profitable. Never. Can you believe? Put your perspective a decade or 2 decades back. I have a store. I come in, I buy my stuff, I get out, my profit and loss. He's never made money in terms of profitability. What he's made is people's information, data. Each data has been valued, each email ID has been valued at 50 INR. That's less than $1. So the number of people who are actually using, the valuation of this company is increasing. Now, as Shoaib said, yeah, data is the new oil. Data now is the new dollar. So that's where I'd like to end it across.
Thank you so much. We are reaching the time. However, I would like, if you have time, to give you the opportunity to raise one more questions before we close.
Sure.
Who has any question in the audience? Don't be shy. We have the biggest expert.
Yeah, let me ask the last question then, if you don't mind.
Yes, Abdullah, go ahead.
Yes, I have a question. Nowadays, we have in government sector especially, we are now enthusiastic about AI, and we want to implement AI in the business and operation. But most of the time, they are mixing between using database and AI. Artificial intelligence has more components to be implemented, more than using just a database and in the business. So how we can differentiate between these two?
Okay, I'll just take the example of a business, whether it is governments or a particular business. I'll just put everything into one box, make it simpler for everybody. there is a flow of your business from A to Z. The way it starts, what are the processes that happens in between, where you need to identify in that processes of your internal organization, which needs to be empowered more to get a better result for your end client, which is your customer. So an AI expert will sit down, put it on a sheet of paper and identify where on your process chart is the delay. Is there a reason why this particular task is not being performed accurately on time? And identify the loopholes as to how do I empower that part of the engine in order to make the entire business successfully flow forward. There's no one answer for that. So an AI expert would break down like a jigsaw each and every part. Database is important because that is where he gets the history of the information from. He needs to have some curve, whether it's a linear or a vertical curve, in order to understand what are the patterns that's flowing in order to make a successful customer at the end of the day and a bad customer. The data points are important. Without the data points, you will not be able to build a structure inside your organization to power it with artificial intelligence to give you that output. So a business owner or the organization team will really need to identify where the pain point in that business is. And will AI help enable them to actually overcome that bottleneck? I think Mr. Ghanem, sir, can you add a bit more onto that if you can? No, mute. You're on mute.
Yes, I am trying to unmute you.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Sorry, I've been quiet. Sorry. Do you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, to go to Abdullah's question about the difference between database and the artificial intelligence, the predictability of data is what we are talking about here. How much we can reach to be so predictable of the need of our client or our customer or our citizen. So as a Dubai initiative, when they started with a data law, they have a data law that to share data among government department plus companies. So there is sensitive data, and there's a classification for data, but there is a public data where it's accessible by everybody. It's easy for you to acquire data like that, and it depends on your type or the need of the data that you want. So here we're not talking about a flat database, because I can get all the license of companies from DED. But if I don't have any business need of it, or I cannot transform it into a requirement or a need for my business or for my government organization, it will be useless. So that's the advantage of what Dubai is doing now, and how they are structuring first of all, you need some kind of legislation, and that's happening. So there is a law, and now public data is open for public. Any citizen or company can require this data. There is a B2B data where you can also strike deals with the business to take their data, and that's required certain process. So with setting up the right ecosystem for data exchange, that will help develop or emerge from database only to an artificial intelligence base here. Now, I will go back to the smart city. We are not reaching yet there. I was just, while Syed is talking, I wanted to know the amount of data that's been harvested. It's really about a number that I cannot pronounce really. It's a very massive number of data generated every day. It's about 2.5 quintillion bytes that is generated on daily basis. Now, this is not completed with all the IoTs. And not to say everything has been connected on the net. You will have huge data that you don't know what to do with it. Now, My prophecy of smart city, it will be named autonomous city, where it will ease the need of doing things by human that can be done by artificial intelligence. So autonomous city will take over or will give you all the cushion and the rest that you can focus on different skills that you need to do while it will be running the city for you. That's in a nutshell, a small, we can talk a full speech about, talk about what does it mean autonomous city. So it's only that I'm just giving a hint on this one. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Hanim. It looks very promising for sure. Syed, do you want to conclude briefly before we close?
Yeah, I think I just want to say thank you very much, guys. It's been a pleasure sharing this information with you. I hope it was useful, and if you have any questions, queries, you can I'll leave my details. You can get back to me. But I think all of us collectively, no matter what we represent, if we ever come into a business scenario where we can implement the new technologies, I think we should. And even if you are not, as business owners, it becomes mandatory for you to understand what are the new technologies coming in and how it might empower your business. Buying dollars, having dollars is secondary. Surely doing justice as a business owner to know that with this technology, I can empower my business is important. And that's where I think we all collectively need to take this forward. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Syed. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Syed.
Thank you so much, Mayamen. Thank
Thank
you,
you
everybody, for your time, for being here. It was a really great honor. And we do hope that you learned a lot about AI and we can move forward with it. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye. Bye. The webinar is recorded, so we will send you the replay.
Sure.
Thank you
very much.
So much. Bye,
Thank you,
everyone.
Syed.
Excellency, Ghanem. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ranem. Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Thank you very much, man.